This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Phase 1 Campus IV training. Today we'll go over the workflow, file uploads, document tracking, student profile page, and funding dashboard. My name is Ravi, your Implementation and Configuration Coordinator here at Campus IV. And just to review your other training modules, we'll also go over in Phase 2 your packaging process, report center, ISA report, funding estimate, and the student portal. The third session would be your Go Live. The Go Live will share with you a Campus IV personnel contact list, so if there's any trouble at all, you can always reach out to someone. We'll also introduce your dedicated assigned representative here at Campus IV for any of your financial aid needs. Next would be the disbursement process, which will review the disbursement overviews and disbursement rosters. And last will be the R2T4 process, where we'll talk about the R2T4 documentation and Campus IV review of R2T4. Okay, so that's up and coming, Phase 2, 3, 4, and 5. And today, we'll talk about the areas of impact on you daily. Again, the workflow or the dashboard, which you see here. What Campus IV handles, what the school or you handle. We'll talk about document tracking, how to find a student, and the student profile page. We'll also talk about the overview of funding dashboard, so that we'll give you a brief overview of the funding dashboard, but more details will be given to you in the Phase 4 of training, the disbursement process. Okay, so let's get started. So here you see the funding dashboard, the financial aid dashboard or your school's dashboard. To the top right, we have my name here, which is me who's logged in. And this is the demo site, so we have just a fictitious college with a fictitious name or address. So you will see your school's name here along with your school's logo. Also, you'll see your school's address and telephone number along with a website address if you have one. Moving on to the bulk of the dashboard, which of course you'll notice 3 columns. In these 3 columns you have red, yellow, and green. In the red column, everything that you see here going down is something that's pending or incomplete, as it says here, needed, open, selected for verification, or maybe just queued, unsigned, things like that. The yellow section is things that were submitted, received, pending, scanned, pending review, things like that. And the last section is the green section, which are items that were processed or approved, complete, signed, things of that sort. Okay, so we'll start with the file upload. So the first category you see here is the file upload, and I'll go down quickly to file pickup. So for the file upload, this is used for manual student data. So this is where we load your students in and integrate your students. So for this tab, really, there's no reason for the school to have to go in here at all. So you can leave that one alone. The very last one is file pickup, and the file pickup is for file transfers, a secure way of sharing information between the school and Campus IV or Campus IV to the school. Now, both of these tabs speak directly to the Department of Education website, so COD and CPS. Anytime we're originating loans or making corrections to ISERs, we do that within these 2 tabs. Now, COD originations cycle every 30 minutes, and for ISER corrections, those cycle every 15 minutes to CPS. Okay, moving on, we'll talk about the document tracking. So here in document tracking, you'll see 165, 4, and 0. So going back to what I said before, red means that 165 items need your attention. 4 of those items, or 4 items, have been received and needs to be reviewed, and so far 0 has been approved. At this point, in the yellow section, an item can be approved and then moved over to the green section, or an item can be rejected and moved back into the red section for various reasons. And I'll go over that with you in a moment. So let's take a deeper look into the document tracking section. I'll go ahead and click on this 165, and that brings us into the document tracking section. Now notice I clicked on the 165 and it also gives us a running tab here of how many students need attention or items that need attention. So here we see the red indicator again. So we know that this red indicator means that it's in progress. So here's the in progress tab. If we just wanted to see that, which we are looking at, or the yellow section, which is pending, we can click on that and we'll see all 4 items that we have in yellow, or approved, which we didn't have anything in approve at the moment. So here you see nothing. Now I'll go, or you can see them all at the same time. And here we should see a mix of yellow and red. There we are. Okay, and this is filtered by the student's last name, A through Z. Okay, we'll go back to in progress, which is the 169 that needs attention. So here we see the student's name. If we wanted to filter A through Z from the last name, which is already here, and we wanted to do Z through A, we could just click on it and it will change that for us. And here it starts with Young all the way down. Okay. Now this column is for the student's name. Then if you have more than one campus, we'd have those listed here. You can filter by campuses, or if you wanted to filter by enrollment status. So if you just wanted to see future starts, you could do that. And if you want to filter by start date, you can also do that. And by clicking on that, it goes from most recent all the way down to the past. Document statuses you could also click on if you did that, which we're actually already in progress status, so we'll leave that alone. And then document rules and feedback reasons. The feedback reasons is very unique. If you filter it to see all of the feedback reasons, the feedback reasons indicate that we did receive the document, however there was an issue with that document. And if we take a quick glimpse here, we can find out what that issue was. So we can see that these items were illegible, handwriting cannot be read, or maybe the copy was just a little too faded. And this has conflicting information. We'll talk more about these responses when we take a look at the student's page. However, just remember that if you wanted to see which ones were accepted and rejected and the reasons why, you could filter it here. Next, you'll see the Campus IB person that reviewed those documents, and their name would be here, and when they updated the information. That's here. Now, if this report is something that you want to tailor, to customize for your needs, you can just click on the 3 dots and go to columns and add or remove anything that you'd like to filter here. So we'll take these out, we'll add. I added in student ID, and as you can see, as I remove or add in real time, everything changes in the back. So after you filter it to the way that you need, if you'd like to export it, you can click on the word export on the right-hand corner, and it brings up another window. You can choose to export it the customized way, or you can do it back to the other way that we originally saw. So I'm going to leave it this way and submit. After submitting, you'll see a download here in the left-hand corner. And I'll go ahead and open that so you can see that it was filtered into an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. If you needed to just look at a certain campus, you can always pull these tabs up to here. Oops, excuse me. And it would filter by those enrollment statuses. And as you can see, you can expand, if needed, exactly what you're looking for. Okay. Okay, and that sums up the document tracking section of our system. Now remember, this is a web-based program, so you can always click back to return to the dashboard, or you can just click on the school name here, which will bring us right back to the original dashboard. Now, if we're tracking documents and we have a student who's on the phone or maybe in our office, and we want to look up what's going on exactly with that student, you can just go ahead and click on Student Lookup. And here you can find any student within your school. All you have to do is type in the first 3 letters of their last name. So I'll type in STU, and as you can see, it filters all of the students that you have in the database with these 3 letters. It filters them by student ID, social security number, or last 4 digits that is, and then the first and last name. You have the status and the system status, also their location. And to pull up any of these students, we'll just have to click on details. So let's take a look at this student. And here it brings us to the student profile page. And here everything is specific to this student that we just pulled up. So here you have their last name first, and their first name last. Then you have their student ID, and you have the last 4 digits of their social security number. If you find that their information, social security number, date of birth, or name was misspelled, you can let us know and we'll go right in and just edit it. After editing, we just click on Save, and it'll change that for us. Okay, and as of looking to the right, we'll then see notifications. Here are notifications that was sent to the student via email or maybe text message. Here it filters from most recent all the way down to the last. It shows that we attempted to reach the student via email or text 19 times, and 19 of those times they were unread. Now again, remember this is the test system, so it is possible that we just haven't opened up those emails because we have a fictitious email for them. So we have the dates and the time, who actually sent these messages, and system admin means it was sent or triggered by the system. What was sent, how it was sent, and was it deliverable? If you want to see exactly what was sent, you can just click on View. Let's take a look. Here would be the actual email that was sent, You'll see your school's name here, your school's address and phone number, the student's name, the date it was sent, and some instructions as to what was needed, a short blurb, and then a signature. And this would be tailored to your school. So it would be your financial aid officer office, your return phone number to that office, or maybe if you'd like to put in a specific person, we can do that also. If the student may be sitting in the office at this point, you could just go ahead and click on print, and it would print that document or that email out just the way it was sent. Okay, I'll cancel that. And that is the notifications. After the notifications, you see here contact information. So it would have the student's contact information as far as their mailing or home address, their email address, and their home or cell phone number here. Next, you see the packaging information. So for packaging, we'll start with programs. So here it shows that this student has had about 5 programs, their start date for those programs, their projected grad date at that time, and if there was a withdrawn date, it would be here, and the last date of attendance, if any. Also, their enrollment status for those programs, and the units, whether it be credits or clock hour, would be here. Their campus locations, and if they've met satisfactory academic progress or not. This one has met. Now there's quite a few programs in here. If you wanted to know which one they were currently enrolled in, of course we could look at enrollment status. However, quickly look to the right, and the one that says master is the one that we'd be packaging for at the moment. So that would be this one. Below the packaging information, you'll see items that your school specifically may need for a student to receive financial aid or be eligible for financial aid, and those would be housed here. If there was an assessment or anything miscellaneous, we would house them here. Okay, moving on to the ICER. Here on the ICER section, you'll see the award year for that ICER, which this one is 1920. You'll see the ICER transaction number. This one is 01. And then the independent or dependency of the student. This one is I for independent. Of course, their primary EFC, if they were selected for verification or not. And this specific ICER, they were, and that's why it has a Y. If they were not selected, it would just have a no. It also tells you what group they were selected for. So this one is a V1. And next is the comment codes. So the comment codes are pretty unique also. Whereas if you're not sure what these comment codes mean, which of course I don't know all the comment codes, you can just click on it and it would give you the Department of Education definition for that specific comment code. So 345, let's take a look at 149. So this would help you in clearing those C codes. Moving over one, it says, is it current? And it shows what year it's current for, which is 1920. If you wanted to view the ICER, you could by just clicking on View. And here you'll see the ICER, all pages. If you wanted to print the ICER for any reason, you could just right-click on the screen, click on Print, and it would give you that option. Okay, let's go back. back to the students page, and back down to the ICER. Now for internal use only, if we were making edits to this ICER, here's how we would do it. And this is just for you to see. We can expand the information on the ICER, and we can make changes here. If I wanted to put 2 in the household, 1 in college, as you can see, as I'm making changes, they show in green. If I made a mistake, I could just go ahead and undo, and it would take out that change. At that point, I would just go ahead and save that correction, and it would send it off. Again, this is something that you would not be doing, but I just wanted you to take a look so that you know exactly how we update the ICERs. Okay, and that is the ICER section. Moving on to the disbursement information. As you can see, we have the fund type, which is Pell, Sub, Unsub. Whatever fund types your school approves for the student would be here. The award year, we're awarding for 1920. The gross amount, which is here. How much was dispersed at this time. The loan period. The academic year. The financial aid award ID. And of course, the disbursements. So let's take a look at the Pell. As I clicked on disbursement, it does expand it directly under the one we're looking for or looking at. You start with the gross amount, the net award, when the distribution date is, the disbursement date is, and when that disbursement, or the number of that disbursement. Is it the first one or the second? The status of it, which this is currently projected. Pay period date is here. And what program did we use to project this funding for? Okay, if we wanted to take a look at the sub, click on that one. We have a total of 1458. We had 2 disbursements, and we split them into $729 each. We took out the $7 loan fee. We then ended up with $722 each, and the disbursement date of that $729, the first and second disbursements, the status of that disbursement, the date, and what program. Okay. If we wanted to make changes to it, we can click on View, and as you can see here, we have the financial aid award, and we can make changes to it if needed. Or I can add a disbursement. I'm not going to make any changes at the moment. If we wanted to create a funding estimate for next term or for a student, we could do that by clicking on Funding Estimates and creating a funding estimate here. To the right side, you can always pick a program that we would configure for you, and that would have all the information, or most of the information, auto-filled. Put in the units, the academic year start date, their academic level, their rate, and then the EFC, which was auto-filled, their dependency status, any Pell LEU or Pell used for that award year, sub and unsub, and then we would, high school bachelor's, yes or no, and then we would save it. And that would add another disbursement in this section. Also, if we needed promissory note, entrance counseling, that would be housed here, and any sub-usage or any dependent student parent credit status would be housed here, or references. Okay, and that's the disbursement information. Moving on to the document tracking. Here you see our document tracking section. There's quite a few documents in here, but one thing to make note of is in looking here, you see some of them identify by the letter T on the left-hand side, and some do not. Some are blank. The letter T means that the system itself triggered that document. So for this one, the first T, I see that the system actually triggered the MPN. So then on this end, you'd see the document type, name, description, the date, the Campus Ivy personnel who updated that, the document status of those documents, and here we can set or change those statuses. And then you can actually view those documents. Here you see funding estimate, where we can actually have the student sign or e-signature on our end or the school's end. You can always print it by clicking print. Oops. Here it is. And it would print this out. And if the student needed a wet signature at that point, they could sign it, you can scan it, and send it, load it back into the system. Now, if there's a certain miscellaneous document that is not housed by Campus Ivy and you wanted to upload that document, you can click on Upload a New Document. Here we can put in exactly what the description of that document is, and you can put in multiple documents if you'd like. And at that point, you can click on Choose File and load those documents in there. And as I am selecting them, you see them in here. And all we'd have to do is click on Upload, and it would upload all three of these documents at the same time. Okay, but I won't do that at this moment. I'll go ahead and cancel, and brings us back to the document tracking. Next, if I needed to add a document that's already in the system that we have approved by the school, we can just go ahead and choose New Required Document and choose from one of these that we've loaded for you. So let's say NSLDS Clearance Letter, and we can choose a program specific to this student, the start date, the ICER award year, and if there is a fee group, and we can add that status. So we're adding NSLDS Clearance Letter. Go ahead and add it, and as you can see here, on this date, with my last name, that I added it as needed. In reviewing the documents, we can go here and we can approve the documents. After approving that document and updating the status, it should then choose, you will then, see that as approved, so it changes to green. Now, let's say that we review the document and we wanted to reject it. If we choose reject, we can just click on the feedback reason. After clicking on that, you'll see a bunch of canned responses that we have. And if you remember from the beginning of the training, I said that you can filter in document tracking by the feedback and reasons, and here's where those reasons start. So if we found that that document was incorrectly calculated illegible handwriting, or what have you, we can just choose it in here, and then we would just go down and update the reason. Now after updating that, you see it change to rejected. Now this takes care of the document tracking. Okay, going back up. We'll go back to the school's dashboard. After document tracking and searching for a student, as you can see here, we do have the verification C code section, which of these are specific students that were selected for verification. So in clicking in here, you'll see a similar screen to where we just have this one student that's in progress at the moment. And if I clicked on this student, it would show us the information where we can make changes to the ICER again if we wanted to, or we can just look at the student profile page here. And again, this is something that we'll be taking care of, but just wanted you to see how it's done. Okay, and the last thing that we'll look at today will be the disbursement information. So the disbursement batches. As you can see here, there is a small section that says click for funds info. If you click on that, it opens up some information here at the very bottom, and we have disbursement process overview. So these are your net batch totals for the last 30 days. So in open for this demo account, we have 0. In the yellow, which is pending, we have 50,459. For processed, we have 0 at the moment. Now, as of today, you can see that the refunds, we have $34,010, and the not ready as $2,065,000. So just to know that this is the demo site, as I said before. However, when you are in your live environment, you'll see ready to pay cash projections right here in the middle, and that would be from 7 to 14 days, 14 to 30, 30 to 60, and 60 to 90 that you can click on and take a look. All right, but before we take a look at your not ready, let's go over to the 2 graphics on the right side. So for this graph, if you hover over it, it tells you all the things that are not ready and how much money is being held up by this not ready status. So for the green one, we'll start with the big one. It's $1,822,000. If you go to the next one, it says it's not ready due to less than half time, not ready due to documents that's needed, not ready due to future start or just not active for whatever reason. And this one's not ready because verification has not been cleared. SAP issue, in progress, and paid. Okay. On the right, there's another graphic, and this one just shows the not ready, the in process, and the paid. Not ready, in process, and paid. Okay. But we want to know exactly who and what's not ready. So I'll go ahead and click on this, which is the not ready under the 2 million. It's going to take us to another page. And on this page, you'll see another graph. This graph shows a month to month of the not ready, which is these. The in process are not ready, paid, and ready to pay. As I hover over it, it tells me what the amounts were for those months. Okay, and at the very bottom, it shows the spreadsheet which you can filter to your liking. And it filters from, it starts with student, their location, units earned, transferred in units, enrollment status, award year, their fund type, disbursement date, that number, sequence, the amounts, and the funding status. These are less than half time, SAP issues, and as I expand, I can see needed documents, verification not cleared, or no ISR on file. Okay, so let's go back to the top. Now, if I wanted to customize this report, and I'm pulling it every week, so I can go ahead and type in and save the configuration that I customized earlier. I can make it public, so I can share this with whomever, and they can come and see the same configuration that I'd like them to see each week. Save it here, and then go into load configurations, and then I can load the one that I just saved here. And then you see our report change. Now, if you wanted to export this, again, we just click on export. We leave this the same, and we submit it. In submitting that, it should bring up a download here. There it is. And then we can open that up. We can always print this or save it and email it to whomever needs to be part of it. Okay. And that concludes the disbursement batches and funding dashboard. Okay, we'll go back to our dashboard here, or schools dashboard. And that concludes our training for today. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to go through this video. I hope it was very informative. And again, my name is Ravi, and please feel free to reach out with any questions. We will be sending invites with more trainings for your Phase 2 coming soon. Also, we will have a setup for a possible Q&A session if needed. Again, look out for an email from us. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.